Ladies and gentlemen, swimmers and coaches, please listen carefully as the following is an important safety announcement. Swimmers, you are reminded that the depth of the water at the starting end is 1 metre and the depth of the water at the turning end is 1.8 metres.
The height of the starting blocks above the water at the start end is 700 millimetres.
Only those swimmers who have reached the standard of the ASA Competitive Start Award are permitted to start with a shallow racing dive from the starting blocks.
In the event of a false start, please continue with a shallow racing dive. You must not topple into the water, head downwards as this is dangerous.
Please do not sit or pull yourself along the lane ropes throughout the gala, and when leaving the pool, please exit to the sides and do not climb over the timing boards.
If you are starting in the water, you must lower yourself over the side. Do not jump or dive.
In the event that we need to evacuate the building, the sound you will hear will be an electronic siren and red lights will flash around the building.
In this case, please leave the building using the nearest, safest emergency exit, which are to be kept clear at all times.
In the event of an emergency, please follow the direction of the swim centre staff. Swimmers and officials, you are reminded not to return to the changing rooms to collect your personal belongings.
There should be no glass on poolside.
In line with the recommendation in the ASA Child Protection Policy, the promoters of this event request that anybody wishing to engage in any Zoom, video or close-range photography must register their details with staff at entrance control before carrying out any such photography.
This includes the use of a mobile phone with an image capturing facility.
Thank you for your attention. Enjoy today's event.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome your President, Mr. Chris Sage, and your officials for Session 7. And your announcer and commentator for Session 7, Mr. Peter Bays.
Okay. Got a lot to get through this morning. Welcome to the first session of this second week third weekend back of the Hertfordshire 2014 County Championships. Going to start with the ladies 50 metres butterfly, and then we're going to be moving on to event 34, the 200 metres butterfly for men, and then the 200 metres freestyle for the ladies, and we finish with the men's 100 metres individual medley for 9 to 14-year-olds. Before we get underway with the events, we're just coming round to the allotted time. Need to remind everybody that the 16-year-old and championship events are being swum under protest. The result of these events will be confirmed on the resolution of the protest. This means that there will be no medals or trophies awarded until the protest is concluded. Having said that, if you have got medals to collect from last weekend or the weekend before, do please go and get them as soon as possible. Go and collect them from the medal table. Medal table is up where you can see all of the booms and mics and things, and we'll be here all day. But it'd be good to get the medals handed out as soon as possible. I think we're nearly ready to go with the first event, which is the event 33, the women's 50 metres butterfly. This is going to be swum in 18 heats. Can I please ask no flash photography, please, particularly at starts. No flash photography, it can cause some problems with the starts. And no swimmers in the spectator area, please, unless they are dressed. And if you are leaving the poolside swimmers, you must have footwear on. You must have footwear on if you're leaving the poolside, and no outdoor footwear poolside. If you're not wearing your coach's pass wristband, anyone seen without a wristband on will be asked to leave the poolside. I'm sorry, we're going to be pretty rigorous about that this weekend. We've had a few people wandering around, and we have to make sure under child protection that there is no one who shouldn't be there. Event 33, the women's 50 metres butterfly, heat 1, swimmers in lanes 3, 4 and 5. Away we go with the first heat today. Lane 3 is Lucy Jordan-Coles, who's 11 from Verulam. Lane 4 is Eldie Unwoody, who's 9 from St Albans, and lane 5, Caitlin Liu, who's 9 from Hatfield. 11-year-old in lane 3, and then 2 9-year-olds. Coming into the last 10 metres, and in the lead in the middle, Eldie Dunwoody, 9-year-old, entered at 46.1. Got the last few strokes. Being chased at the moment by Caitlin Liu of Hatfield. And Eldie touches at 41.72. Caitlin 45.10. And Lucy in 48.61. Heat 2 of the ladies 50 metres butterfly. All lanes in use for this one. Lane 1 is Emma Clark, 10 from Verulam. They're all 10 apart from 1 9-year-old in lane 8. So lane 2 is Lucinda Andrews from Potters Bar. 3, Daria Tybalt, who's from Hitchin. Lane 4, Isabella Williamson, who's from Watford. Lane 5, Alice Richardson from Harpenden. Lane 6 is Isabella Rannick from Bishopsdorf. And 7, Libby Chambers from Verulam. And then 9-year-old Laura Stevens from Stevenage in lane 8. And she is the youngest, the fastest 9-year-old entrant in this battle at the moment between lanes 4 and 6. So it's going to be close between Isabel in 4 and Isabella in 6. as they come into touch, and it's Isabel who gets the touch. Isabella touching in second place, winning time 40.55. Third to touch there was Emma Clark from Verulam. Heat 3 of the ladies 50 metres butterfly. Lane 1, Francesca Pecci, who's 10 years old from Watford. Then 4 11-year-olds. Lane 2, Erica Schuker from Hartsmith Flyers. Lane 3 is Izzy Anderton from Hemel. 4, Jessica Penkel from Bishop Stortford. Lane 5, Sarah Carroll from Bishop Stortford. Lane 6, Erin O'Meara from Watford, who's 10. Lane 7, 10-year-old Gemma Hanson from Hatfield. And another 10-year-old in Lane 8, Daisy Hannah from Harpenden. Fastest entrant at 40.55. And at the moment, the race seems to be between lanes 5 and 6. And in lane 5, we've got Sarah Carroll, 11 years old, there's 10-year-old Erin. And as they touch, it is 37.92 winning time for Sarah Carroll, 39.7 for Erin, and lane 4 was third, Jessica. Heat number 4 of the ladies 50 metres butterfly. Lane 1, Jessica Woodward, who's 10 years old from Potters Bar, one of 2 10 years old swimmers in this heat. Lane 2 is Jade Whitehouse, 11 from Hatfield. Then a row of 12-year-olds. Lane 3, Libby Trailing from Harpenden. 4 is Naomi Harvey from Hoddesdon. Lane 5 is Chloe Ogden from Bishop Stortford. 6, Ruby Mulgam from Harpenden. 11-year-old Anya Fletcher is in lane 7 from Bishop Stortford, and 10-year-old Laura Jones from Bushy in lane 8. 3 or 4 swimmers in a row. Lane 2 is right up there with lane 5 and 6 and 7 at the moment. And it's going to be very, very, very close as they touch. It goes at 36.53 to Jade Whitehouse, 36.75 in second, Chloe Ogden, 37.34 for Anya Fletcher in third. Heat 5. Heat 5, lane 1 is Lydia Coombs, who's 12 from Bishop Stortford. Lane 2, Lucy Simister, 11 from Hertford. 3, Izzy Salisbury, 11 from Bishop Stortford. 4, Mia Carter, 12 from Bishop Stortford. Sorry, Izzy Salisbury, of course, is from Berkhamsted, not Bishop Stortford. Lane 5 is Esme Gladwell, who's 11 from Hoddesdon. Lane 6 is Olivia Sill, 11 from Hatfield. 7, Livy McGill, 10 from Hatfield. And Cheshunt's Lara Norton is in lane 8, and she's 12 years old. And she's one of the ones right up at the front. And there are 3 or 4 swimmers all going to touch pretty much together. And we watch to see where it goes. And very close behind the leader, Lucy Simsteg touches first in 36.64. 37.16 in second for Alara Norton from Cheshunt. Heat 6 of the 50 metres butterfly. Lane 1, Ellie Godsave, 11 from Hoddesdon. 2, Emma Killen, 12 from Tring. Lane 3 is Katie Harrison, 11 from Potters Bar. 4 is Lily Merritt, 11 from Hoddesdon. 5, Courtney Burke, who's 12 from Cheshunt. 3 more 12-year-olds. Lane 6, Elise Cork from Potters Bar. 7 is Emily Radin from St Albans. And lane 8 is Eleanor Turpin from Hoddesdon. Half a length to go, and just in the lead at the moment, lane 6 is Elise Cork from Potters Bar, but it's going to be very, very close as they touch. Oh, and she just gets out-touched there. 35.84 the winning time from Katie Harrison, finished very fast. Elise second in 35.87. 36.29 for Lily in third. Can you clear the pool, please, swimmers? Can you clear the pool, please? Don't forget to collect your medals from the medal table. Once again, the medals are anywhere left from last week will be there. And also don't forget to go and see the anti-doping agency outside. Some very useful information for all swimmers. Notice on the back of your programme, actually just on the inside sheet of the back, there's a feedback form. Obviously there are always people have comments about these kinds of competitions, championships, good and bad, suggestions for improvement. If you've found something that you've found irritating or annoying or you don't think has gone well and you'd like to see it changed, do feel free to make suggestions as well, and do let us have those back. I think a lot of people go away at the end of these competitions saying, oh, I wish this had happened, or they think the things were really good in certain cases, and it's good to hear both good and bad, and any constructive criticism is always really, really greatly appreciated by the organisers. So let us have those back. The form is just on the inside of the back page of the programme. You can also watch the racing on YouTube. If you log into YouTube and the Hertfordshire County Championships, Swimming Championships, I'm told it's actually on HD this weekend, so you can actually watch it as it's coming through. I think last week there was about a minute's delay on the feed. So butterfly. Heat 7, lane 1, Paris Driver, 12 from Stevenage. Lane 2, Jessica Patrick, who's the fastest 10-year-old in this event from St Albans. In lane 3 is Kate Andrews, 11 from Bottlesbar. 4, Jessica Turley, 12 from Stevenage. 5, Imogen White, who's 12 from Watford. 6 is Rachel Smith at 13 from Hitchin. 7 is Alicia Salter, who's 12 from the Flyers, and Kaylee Perry from Hoddesdon is in lane 8, and she's 12 years old as well. Lane 7 and lane 4 seem to be fighting this out. Lane 7 Alicia and lane 4 Jessica, and they look like they're going to be pretty close as they touch, and it goes to Alicia in 35.30, 35.61 to Jessica in second, and 36.82 to Rachel in lane 6 in third. Heat 8 of the 50 metres butterfly. Lane 1, Amy Stoker, 12 from Berkhamsted. Lane 2 is Emily South, who's 13 from Cheshunt. 3, Zoe Horn, who's 14 from St Albans. Lane 4, Philippa Amos, who's 12 from Hitchin. Lane 5 is Nellie Eastland, who's 11 from Bishop Stortford. Lane 6, Katie Fitch, who's 11 from Watford. Lane 7, Chloe Woodruff, 12 from Tring. And lane 8 is Alice Dyson, 13 from Harpenden. 4 swimmers all completely together. It's going to be right down to who's on the right stroke. And as they touch, look at that, all almost identical times. 35.22 getting the touch for Nellie Easton, 35.31 in second for Chloe Woodruff, and 35.35 in lane 4 for Philippa Amos in third. Heats 9. Ready to go now with heats number 9 of the ladies 50 metres butterfly. Heat 9, lane 1, Charlotte Nash, 12 from Bishop Stortford. Lane 2, Tori Pope, 13 from Watford. 3 is Georgina Tarrant, 13 from Potters Bar. 4 is Lauren Pryor, 12 from Hitchin. 5, Sienna Milner, 14 from Hemel Hempstead. 6, Megan Jarman, 12 from St Albans. 7 is Myriad Cation, who's 14 from Hitchin. And then Katie Conyers is in lane 8, is 13 from Potters Bar. into the last 10 metres, and a big battle between lanes 3 and 4. Georgina Tan 3, Lauren Pryor in 4, both in at around 34.5, and big freebies. Good personal best times, 34.02 the winning time for Georgina, 34.11 in second for Lauren Pryor. Heat number 10 of the 50 metres butterfly. Heat 10, lane 1, Jessica Hurley, who's 14 from Potters Bar. 2, Lauren Stott, 11 from St Albans. Lane 3, Rachel Connery, who's 14 from Potters Bar. 4, Phoebe Spicer, 14 from Hoddesdon. 5, Ella Chown, who is 11 from St Albans. 6 is Alicia Khan, 15 from Hemel. And then 2 13-year-olds. 7 is Shamina Shamada Keeling, who's 13 from Hemel. And lane 8 is Eleanor Wood from St Albans. Fastest entry time, 34.97 for same time for both the swimmers in the middle. It's very close, but lane 3 might be just ahead at the moment, but coming into touch, and it goes 34.17 to Rachel Connery from Potters Bar, 34.64 for Ella Chown in second, 34.73 for Phoebe Spicer in third. Heat number 11. Heat 11, lane 1 is Beatrice Spada, who's 14 from St Albans. Lane 2 is Ellen Northwood, who's 13 from Berkhamsted. 3, Annabelle Hunt, 13 from Bishop Stortford. 4 is Keira Fletcher, who's 15 from Bishop Stortford. 5 is Charlotte Watson, who's 13 from Berkhamsted. 6 is Ellen Fender, 15 from Hemel. 7, Camila Badaran, who's 15 from Hartsmith Flyers. And Josie Bridges White from Bishop Stortford is in lane 8, and she's 12. And she's going extremely well at the moment. Josie out in lane 8. Very close between lanes 12 and 5, and as they come into touch, it is Josie who gets the touch. And the winning time is 33.56, 33.67, right behind her for Charlotte Watson from Berkhamsted. Can you clear the pool, please? Clear the pool to the side, please, swimmers. Going to shortly be needing the boys for the 200 metres butterfly, particularly Heat 1, Ruben Balch, Callum Wollaston and Nada Matinda, and probably don't need the others just yet. Heat 12 of the ladies 50 metres butterfly. Lane 1, Olivia Smith-Rowell, who's 15 from Bishop Stortford. 2 is Jess Potts, 13 from Berkhamsted. 3, Emily Lampon, 14 from Bishop Stortford. 4, Megan Wickham, 14 from Bishop Stortford. 5, Kerry Hurd, 14 from Watford. Then 17-year-old Charlie Stevens is in lane 6 from Berkhamsted. Lane 8, 7 is Megan Pointer, 14 from Bishop Stortford. And another 14-year-old from Watford, Leanne Carey, is in lane 8. Very close indeed. Particularly going well, lanes 2 and 6 at the moment. Going to be very close though. And the touch goes 33.38 to Jess Potts from Berkhamsted. 33.71 is second. Goes to Emily Lampon, who touched just before. 34.05. Charlie Stevens in lane 6. Heat 13 of the ladies 50 metres butterfly. Lane 1, Laura Copping, 13 from Hatfield. Lane 2, Molly Francis, the fastest 12-year-old entrant in the competition. Lane 3 is Lauren Clarkson, 15 from Watford. Lane 4 is Olivia Pawson, 14 from Cheshunt. Lane 5, Sophie Burns, 14 from Watford. 6, Eloise Linen, who's 14 from Watford. Rianne Mather is in Lane 7, she's 17 from Hoddesdon. And Robin Brett in Lane 8 is 16 from Watford. And it's actually right across the pool. We're going to have to wait and see who touches on the AOE. And in fact, Laura Copping gets the AOE touching first, 33.39. Second on the AOE was Olivia Pawson, 33.72. And third, 33.82 was Sophie Burns. Heat 14 of the ladies 50 butterfly. Lane 1, Rebecca Hurley is 15 from Potters Bar. 2 more 15-year-olds in the next lanes. Lane 2, Eleanor McDonald from Berkhamsted. Lane 3, Rebecca Scott from Hitchin. Lane 4, Tegan Wollaston is 14 from Cheshunt. 2 14-year-olds in this event, this heat. Lane 5, May Moody, 16 from Snorban. 6 is Millie Donovan, 15 from Cheshunt. 7, Lauren Windsor, 15 from Hemel. And Trings, Katie Colwell is 14-year-old in Lane 8. Very evenly matched. There are about 6 swimmers all going to touch very, very close together. And there you see on the AOE, 33.27. And the first to touch there, Tegan Wollaston from Cheshunt, 33.28 for alongside May Moody, and 33.31 for Eleanor McDonald touching in third. Heat 15 of the ladies 50 metres butterfly. Lane 1, Carly Bays, 14 from Hoddesdon. 2, Susie Bird, 16 from Hatfield. 3, Amber Shine, 13, Hatfield. 4 is Alicia Kramer, 13 for the Flyers. 5, Paige Wilding, 15 from Hemel. 6, Ellie Mitchell, 13 from Bishop Stortford. 7, Ellen the Lavender, 15 from Harpenden. Lane 8, Abigail Green, 13 from Watford. Can we have the men's 200 metres butterfly swimmers? 200 metres butterfly swimmers, please, for the men to the marshing area. Close, but at the moment it looks like it's lane 6 in the lead. Going to be very close on the touch though, and it does go to Ellie Mitchell, a 32.40. Very, very close right across the board there though. 32.56 in second for Abigail Green, and 32.88 for Alicia Kramer in third. Heat 16 of the ladies 50 metres butterfly. Lane 1 is Tate Hennick, who's 16 from Hitchin. Lane 2, Victoria Pritchard, 17 from Hatfield. 3, Megan Brett, 18 from Watford. 4, Grace Rayner, 15 from Hatfield. 5, Megan Cook, 14 from Bishop Stortford. 6, Rosa Curran, 17 from Snorbans. 7 is Shannon Stott, who's 13 from Snorbans. And lane 8 is Sarah O'Brien, 17 from Hertford. Once again, 200 metre butterfly swimmers to the marshing area, please. Very, very close indeed as they come to touch. And in fact, it's just in the lead there, 31.42. The touch goes to Megan Cook, 14-year-old from Bishop Stortford. 32.1 to Shannon Stott, and 32.28 to Sarah O'Brien. Heat 17 of ladies 50 metres butterfly. Heat 17, lane 1, Lauren Winfield, 16 from Snorbans. Lane 2, Amara Phillip is 15 from Hatfield. 3, Hattie Hansen, 14 Hatfield. 4 is Phoebe Love, 16 Potters Bar. 5, Abby Smith, 17 Harpenden. And 6 is Alice Hewson, 16 from Berkhamsted. 7, Ashley Ransom, 18 from Hertford. Lane 8, Kate McQuaid, 15 from Hatfield. At the moment, leading the way in lane 5, Abby Smith from Harpenden, and she goes 30.11. Good sprint by Abby. 30.70 in second for Phoebe, and 30.70 dead heat in fact for second place between Phoebe in lane 4 and Addie Hansen in lane 3. Let the place judges sort that one out, but it looks like it could be a dead heat. Been asked to remind swimmers, please, no swimmers off pool side without footwear on, please. You must have footwear on if you're coming off the pool side. And please, no wet swimmers wandering around up in the spectator area because the steps can get very dangerous. Heat 18, the final heat of this ladies 50 metres butterfly. Away we go in heat 18. Lane 1 is Anna Phillip, who's 13, the youngest swimmer, the fastest 13-year-old in this from Hatfield. Lane 2, Amy Young, 14 from Bishop Stortford. 3, Amy Godsave, 14 from Hoddesdon. 4, Georgie Pryor, 15 from Hoddesdon. She's the championship record holder. Lane 5, Jess Jackson, 16 from Hatfield. 6, Alison Binns, 18 from Watford. 7, Michelle Mitchell, 16 from Hatfield. Lane 8 is Yazzie Brand, 16 from Watford. Bit of tactical swimming potentially there, 28.25. Georgie Pryor touching in first place there, 28.68. Jessica Jackson easily behind her, and 29.87 for Amy Godsave, 14-year-old behind those. So moving on now to the next event in the pool, event 34, the men's 200 metres butterfly. This is going to be swum in 3 heats. Heat 1, swimmers in lanes 3, 4 and 5. Eight lengths to the pool now for the 200 metre butterfly swimmers. Hard work for the younger swimmers. There's only one 9-year-old entered in this, and he's in lane 3 in the first heat. Hemel Hempstead's Reuben Bouch entered at 4 minutes 02.57. Alongside him in lane 4, Callum Williston, who's 12-year-old Cheshunt swimmer, entered at 3:05, so a minute ahead. And then Bana Matinda from Stevenage is in lane 5, and he's 11 years old, entered at 3:11.29. Callum, fastest entrant, first to turn at 50 at 37.56. The other two are pretty much together at 42.9.43. So they can be able to keep each other company and hopefully pull each other along to fast times as we go into the second half. Callum already coming back down towards the end of his first 100. He's looking pretty good. Four 12-year-olds are entered into this competition. Callum is the slower of the entrants, but he's at 1:21.72 at halfway, which is a lot faster than his entry time. So that could push him right up into the medals here. Second to turn is going to be Benet, who's entered at 3:11 at halfway, is at 1:33. Third to turn, Reuben entered at 4:02, the only 9-year-old in this, and he's at 1:41. So again, a long way inside his entry time. So he may be behind the others, but he's a year younger than anyone here, and he's going extremely well. He's just going to make sure he doesn't get DQ'd. Callum good form at the front in lane 4. He's got 50 metres to go. 2:07.04. Going to be a long way inside his time. Benaya looking very good behind him as well, 11-year-old. He's a year younger than Callum, entered at 3:11. He turns with 50 to go at 2:22. And still going down there, Ruben in lane 3, 9-year-old, the only 9-year-old in this, and he's really beginning to struggle now. Keeping going, but he's really finding this tough. He's got 50 to go. Callum coming down into his last 50. Ruben's going to need a lot of encouragement over this last 50 metres from everyone in the crowd. Callum's got a great swim, and he's going to go under 3 minutes. 2:52.99. Callum entered at 3:05, a really excellent swim. Benaya coming down now as well. He's 11 years old, entered at 3:11. He's not going to be far away from that as he comes into his last few strokes. And Benaya now coming in and touches a 3:12.69, great swim. Now we're going to give lots of encouragement to Ruben. He's 9 years old, he's the only 9-year-old who's had the nerve to enter, and he's got 25 metres to go, so let's really cheer him on. He's got the last few strokes, 20 metres to go, Ruben. He's managed to find some strength to get his arms out of the water. Only 10 metres to go, Ruben. And he's going to make it all the way to the end of his first 200 metres in the county. Not many are going to do that on the fly. Last 2 strokes, give him a really big cheer. So he comes in and touches in 3:48.69. Well done, Ruben. We need any more men's 200 metres butterfly swimmers, and the ladies, the first couple of heats of the ladies, 200 metres freestyle. Heat 2 of the men's 200 metres butterfly. Heat 2, lane 1, Ben Monkston, who's 12 from St Albans. Lane 2, Harrison Lees, 13 from Watford. 3, Mason Brand, 12 from Berkhamsted. Lane 4, Morgan Newman, who's 13 from Potters Bar. Lane 5, Tim Hughes, who's 11 years old, the young one of 2 11-year-olds in this, but the fastest entrant from Hatfield. Lane 4 is John Talensky, who's 12 from Harpenden. Lane 7 is William Charles, who's 13 from Hartford, and lane 8, Toby Laguda, 11 from Hatfield, the other 11-year-old. At 50, 34.19, it's Morgan Newman, who's from Potters Bar, in the lead, fastest entrant. He entered at 2:41.84. Entries go up to just over 3 minutes. The 200 metres freestyle, the younger swimmers in heats 1, 2 and 3 and 4, we do need them down to the marshalling area, please. The young swimmers for the first few heats of the ladies 200 metres free, we need them at the marshalling area, please. Don't need the older ones, but the early swimmers, please. 1:14 at halfway. Morgan Newman splits 1:14, entered 2:41, 1:16, 1:17 for Mason Brand, Harrison Lees and Ben Monkston behind him. But going out now in the lead between lanes, races between lanes 3 and 4. At the moment though, it's Morgan Newman in lane 4 who turns about a second and a half of Mason Brand in lane 3. Behind these two, got quite a good race on. We've got Ben Monkston in 1, Harrison Lees in 2, and now coming through in lane 5 is Tim Hughes, coming right up to these as well. But in the lead now with 50 to go, Morgan Newman, 13-year-old Potters Bar swimmer, entered 2:41, is at 1:57 at the 1:50 mark. 2:01 absolutely together now for Mason Brand and Ben Monkston, right up with him. 2:02 and 2:03 for Tim Hughes and Harrison Lees, and 2:05s for John Talensky and William Charles. Toby Laguda, 2:14 with 50 to go. Final length now, turning into his final 25 metres in lane 4. Morgan Newman from Potters Bar. Great battle behind him now between Tim Hughes in 5, Mason Brand in three. These two are very, very close. Great second half by Tim Hughes. Can he get there to second? Morgan Newman tying right up, but he's hung on there. Morgan touches in 2:42.56, tied right up at the very end, but great swim. 2:43.28 for Mason Brand. 2:43.33, 400s behind, 500s behind him for Tim Hughes in third. 2:45 for Ben Monkston, and just completing that over in lane 8, 3:01 for Toby Laguda, the other 11-year-old. Final heat 3 of the men's 200 metres butterfly. Heat 3, lane 1 is James Woodward, who's 14 from Potters Bar. 2, Ben Garrett, 13 from Hatfield. 3, 13-year-old Nathan Hughes. There are a few 13-year-olds in this event, and Nathan being one of them from Hatfield. Lane 4 is Liam Curran, 15 from St Albans. 5 is Ben Harrison, 13-year-old from Potters Bar. He's got the fastest entry time, the 13-year-olds, 2:22. Kieran Watkins in lane 6 is 14 from Stevenage. Luke Sugden, 14 from Hatfield in 7, and Callum Davis, 13 from Bishop Stortford in lane 8. 29:41, the fastest entrant, Liam Curran, entered 2:10. Going after him, the swimmers on either side. Nathan Hughes, 13-year-old from Hatfield in lane 3, and Ben Harrison, 13-year-old from Potters Bar in lane 5. These two pretty close together. Coming up to the halfway split, Liam Curran entered at 2:10, splits at 1:03.13. Second to turn is Tim, 62, 66.95 for Ben, and 68.94 for Ben Garrett. Very close battle behind the leader, but at the moment it's Tim Hughes who's got about a metre lead on Ben Harrison. In the lead though, Liam Curran from St Albans. He's got 50 metres to go at this turn, entered at 2:10, and he's a 1:38, right up for that. Nathan turning at 1:42, 1:44 for Ben, 1:46 for the other Ben in lane 2, Ben Garrett, 1:48 and 49 for Callum Davis in lane 8 and Luke Sugden in 7, and 1:50s for both James Woodward and Kieran Watkins. Last 10 metres now for our leader, had an excellent sprint from the front. Liam Curran entered at 2:10. They go just outside that, and Liam touches at 2:12.99. Good swim in second place for Nathan Hughes, ends at 2:24. Nathan touches in 2:19.26, which is a new championship best for a 13-year-old. So subject to ratification, a championship best for a 13-year-old for Nathan. 2:22 for Ben, a good swim as well in third place. Can you clear the pool to the side, please? So, very exciting race there. So, I think subject to ratification at 2:19, Nathan Hughes beats the previous championship best at 2:21.26 for a 13-year-old. We move on to event 35, the women's 200 metres freestyle. This is going to be swum in 23 heats. Heat 1. Swimmers in lanes 3, 4 and 5. Just the 3 swimmers in this first heat. 8 lengths to the pool, remember, for the 200 metres freestylers for girls. In lane 3, we've got Antonia Jupp, who's from Hatfield. Lane 4, Rosie Batt from Cheshunt, and lane 5 is Neve Kelly from Hatfield. They're all 9 years old. Fastest entrant at 3:20, but they're all around about that 3:20, 3:21, 3:24 for the entrants, so evenly matched. Lots of heats to get through on this one, but coming up to the first split at 50 metres. 2 at 43, Rosie and Neve. Antonia at 44.92. So all going well at the moment. Remember to come and collect your medals. Some of the results are up already. Do come and collect your medals from the medal table, and medals from the previous weeks also need to be collected if you haven't yet collected them. Coming up now to the halfway point, and good battle here between Rosie in lane 4, Neve in lane 5. Both entered at 3:20. Antonia's only just behind them. She's entered 4 seconds slower, but she's less than that behind them. 1:31, 1:32 for our leaders. 1:31.4 the split, 1:32.67. 1:35.16 for Antonia in third at the moment. Coming down now towards 150 split. The women's finalists for the ladies 50 fly. We have Phoebe Love from Potters Bar, Amy Young from Bishop Stortford, Alison Binns from Watford, Georgie Pye Hoddesdon, and then Jessica Jackson Hatfield, Abby Smith Harpenden, Lana Phillip from Hatfield, and Hattie Hanson from Hatfield. Reserves Michelle Mitchell and Yazzie Brand. 50 to go, 2:21, 2:23. Just to repeat though, 2:28 for Antonia. All sprinting on now. They're going to need lots of encouragement over this last length. Sprinting on, they know they've got just 1 length to go when they turn. Suddenly you've got a bit more of a spring in their stroke, and leading from the front as she has done from the start. Rosie Batt from Cheshunt entered at 3:20, being chased by Neve Kelly, entered at 3:20 as well. And also still going well, Antonia Jubb, all 9 years old, remember. Last 5 metres for Cheshunt's Rosie Batt. Going to be a long way inside her entry time, finishes in 3:08.44. Neve comes in and touches in 3:13.12, alongside inside her entry time. Good last length as well from Antonia, and she touches in 3:18.72, and she entered at 3:24, so all swims were absolutely excellent in that first heat. Heat number 2 of the ladies 200 metre freestyle, swimmers in lanes 1 to 7. So once again, the ladies 50 metre butterfly final. Lists are Phoebe Love, Amy Young, Alison Binns, Georgie Pryor, Jess Jackson, Abby Smith, Lana Phillip, Hattie Hanson. Reserves, Michelle Mitchell and Yazzie Brand. Can you please confirm if you are not intending to swim within the next 15 minutes, please? 15 minutes. Confirm if you're not intending to swim. So in Heat 2, Lane 1, we've got Lucy Crybell from St Albans. These are all 9 years old as well. Lane 2 is Millie Anderton from Hemel Hempstead. 3 is Laura Stevens from Stevenage. 4 is Kira Beaver from Watford. 5 is Elder Dunwoody from St Albans. Jessica Williamson is in lane 6 from Watford. And finally Isabel Chapman from Harpenden is in lane 7. Coming up to the 100 metre split. Hayley turning first at enter 3:17, and she split at 1:26, so she's going extremely well. Second to turn is lane 7, Isabel Chapman at 1:31, 1:33 for Lucy in lane 1, 1:33 also for lane 3, Laura Stevens, and then we've got 1:36 and 1:38. But now into her fifth length, sixth length now for our leader Ellie, who's in the lead, and she's a good 10 metres or nearly 10 metres clear actually at the moment, and slowing up a little bit now though, starting to go after her in lane 7. Jessica is Isabel Chapman, and but Ellie with just 2 lengths to go, 2:15.16. Second to turn is going to be Isabel at in lane 7, 2:22, but 2:23.59 right with her now. Lucy in lane 1, 2:24 for Laura Stevens, 2:28 for Millie Anderton, and 2:29 for Jessica Williams. All got 50 metres to go, but Ellie coming down into the last 15 metres. Ellie is entered at 3:17 in lane 5. Going to be under 3 minutes as she touches at 2:57.42. Great swim. Sprint on behind her, but it looks like Lucy over in lane 1. Lucy Corbell entered at 3:19. Is going to touch second, and touches at 3:06.94. Close behind, 3:10. Third to touch there, Laura Stevens. 3:12 for Isabel Chapman in lane 7. 3:17 for lane 6, Jessica, and 3:19 for Millie Anderton, lane 2. 3:24 completes that for Kira Beaver. Heat number 3 of the ladies 200 metres freestyle. Heat 3 of 23, in lane 1 Emily Penfold, who's 9 from Burlham, lane 2 Caitlin Liu, who's 9 from Hatfield. Lane 3 is Ella Smith, who's 10 from Bishop Stortford, and 3 more 10-year-olds alongside her. Lane 4 Daria Theobald, who's from Hitchin. Lane 5 is Lucinda Andrews from Poddesbar. Lane 6 Eleanor Craig from Watford. Bethan Fudge is in lane 7, she's 9 from Hatfield, and Cara Livingston is the remaining swimmer, 9 years old, from Stevenage in lane 8. So they're swimming down towards the halfway turn at 100. Caitlin Liu from Hatfield, a 9-year-old, into 3:04.51, is going to turn first, looking at this in lane 2. Very close behind her between 3 and 4 and 5. But Caitlin turns at 1:21.818. Very good first 100. 1:23s for both lanes 4 and 5, Dario and Lucinda. 1:24 for Ella Smith, 1:28, 1:29 for Emily in lane 1 and Eleanor in lane 6, and then 1:30, 1:31 for the other 2 swimmers at halfway. Still Caitlin Liu in the lead though, in lane 2. But she's not pulling away any faster, and now starting to get slightly closer to her now. We've got lanes 4 and 5. We've got Daria and Lucinda, but Caitlin turns, 50 to go, 2:07.39. 2:09s, still can't split Daria and Lucinda in 4 and 5. 2:11 for Ella in lane 3. 2:15 with 50 to go for Emily Penfold in lane 1. 2:18 for Eleanor Craig, and 2:20s for both Bethan in lane 7 and Clara in lane 8. Caitlin turns into her final length, but right behind her now, Daria in lane 4. And also going now fast off, good turn by Lucinda Andrews in lane 5. And these two trying to get on terms, but Caitlin is away, I think. She's starting to tie right up. Big sprint coming through from Lucinda Andrews in lane 5, Daria in lane 4. It's going to be close, but can Caitlin hang on? And she does. Caitlin just hangs on. 2:51.78. Great swim by the 9-year-old. Entered at 3:04. 2:52.13 in second for Lucinda Andrews. 2:53. 64 in third place for Dara Theobald. Heats number 4 of the ladies 200 metres freestyle. So in heat number 4, Nicole Eugenides is in lane 1. She's 10 from St Albans, one of four 10-year-olds in this. The rest are 11. Lane 2 is Royce and Clark, 11 from Borehamwood. 3 is Bethany Craig, who's 11 from Watford. 4, Ellie Galvin, 11 from St Albans. 10-year-old Jessica Woodward is in lane 5 from Potters Bar. Lane 6, Sophie Taylor, 11 from St Albans. And 2 more 10-year-olds. Lane 7, Ruby Blackburn from Watford. And lane 8 is Libby Chambers from Verulam. Fastest entrance at 2:51 in the middle of the pool. Both of these swimmers in the lead at the moment and have entered at 2:51. It's a good battle behind them at the moment, but coming up to the halfway split. Ellie in lane 4, Jessica in lane 5. And it's Ellie going to turn at 1:18.91, Jessica at 1:19.35. Third is turn at the moment. The halfway is Nicole in lane 1 at 1:21.07. 1:21.69 though for Ruby Blackburn. Very, very close behind. And also Sophie Taylor at 1:21 at that halfway split. Sophie in lane 6. In the lead though, coming up with 50 to go, Ella Galvin entered at 2:51. She's going to be inside though, she keeps going. And she's now pulled out about half a metre from Jessica Woodward. Her turn's at 2:01.30. Jessica 2:02.93, now going really well in lane 1, 2:04.42 is Nicole, 2:07 for Ruby Blackburn and 2:08 for both Sophie Taylor and Bethany Craig, 2:12 for Royce and Clark and Libby Chambers as they go into the last length. 2:16, sorry, for Libby Chambers, my apologies. Sprinting down into the last 10 metres. Leader from the start, Ellie Galvin, 11 years old. And again entered at 2:51 and she's going to touch in 2:41, 10 seconds inside edge time, 22nd. Jessica Woodward entered 2:51, she touched at 2:46.34 but just got out touched into second place there. Fast last length by Nicole Eugenides in lane 1, she touched second in 2:45.82. Heat number 5 of the ladies 200 metre freestyle. Heat 5, lane 1 is Lucy Simister from Hertford. Lane 2, Jessica Chadwick from St Albans. Lane 3, Anya Fletcher from Bishop Stortford. Lane 4, Elizabeth Elf from Hatfield. 5, Jessica Bond from Hatfield. 6, Esme Gladwell, Hoddesdon. 7 is Sienna Ellis from St Albans. They're all 11 years old. 1 10-year-old, Isabella Rennick in lane 8 from Bishop Stortford. 36.81, the first split at 50. Esme Gladwell from Hoddesdon in the lead, entered at 2:51. Esme going well at the front. Also coming through now in lane 3. Anya Fletcher from Bishop Stortford. And lane 7 as well now making a move is Sienna Ellis from St Albans. A few more now coming up too, but it's actually lane 3 in the lead. A good second 50 at halfway point, 1:19.06 for Anya, 1:19.3 for Esme. These two just a little bit clear of the others at the moment. About half a second between those two as they come down towards the 1:50 mark. Now starting to make a move in lane 5. Jessica Bond from Hatfield, and Jessica starting to come up alongside the other swimmers, but in the lead as they go into the last 50 metres. 2 minutes, 0.1 is Anya Fletcher, 2:03.64 for Esme, 2:05 and 2:06 is a whole raft of them, 5, 4, 1, 7, 8 in that order, and then 2:08 for our final one to turn, Jessica Chadwick in lane 2. Ten metres to go for our leader. Anya Fletcher entered at 2:50.45, going to be over 10 seconds inside that. 2:39.78, tremendous swim. Esme looks like she might hang on to second, and she does, 2:45.69, incredibly close behind her. Third to touch was Lucy in lane 1, good last length, 2:46.99. Heat number 6 of ladies 200 metres freestyle. Heat 6, lane 1, Olivia Sill from Hatfield. They're all 11 apart from one 10-year-old in lane 3. Lane 2 is Freya Hilston from Watford. The 10-year-old in lane 3 is Francesca Pecci from Watford. Lane 4 is Izzy Salisbury from Berkhamsted. Lane 5 is Lily Merrick from Hoddesdon. 6 Izzy Sanson from Tring. 7 is Izzy Anderson from Hemel. And lane 8 is Billy Grant from Hemel Hempstead. Even pace to start with, 36.47. Our leader first to turn is Izzy Salisbury from Berkhamsted. Lots of 36s and then a big batch on 38s. Two groups of swimmers really here. Our leader entered at 2:48.26, and Izzy's going to be turning at halfway. 100 at 1:16.64. Second to turn 1:19.49 was Francesca Becci, just ahead of 1:20.05 Lily Merritt. 1:22 at halfway for Freya Hilston. Not far behind these ones. Also Olivia Seal going well about the same, 1:22 at halfway. .50 to go when they hit this turn. Izzy Salisbury. Leader turns at 1:59.6, under 2 minutes. Second to turn, there's really not much between them at the moment, but Lily Merritt is just ahead of Francesca Pecci and Olivia Seal. And they're all sprinting for the finish now. Good sprint also now coming in from lane 8, which is Billy Grant, Hemel Hempstead, and also lane 7. Those two teammates keeping each other company. Izzy Anderton in lane 7. Final 5 metres, tying up just a little bit in the lead. Izzy Salisbury entered at 2:48, touches at 2:40.33, 2:43.15 second to touch for Lily Merritt. Very close behind, third to touch, 247.4 was Francesca Pecci, 247.64 for Izzy Anderton. Very good final 50. Heat 7 of the ladies 200 metres freestyle. Lane 1, Chloe Warren from Watford. Lane 2, Erin O'Meara from Watford. Lane 3, Libby McGill from Hatfield. They're all 10 years old. Then comes an 11-year-old, Ellie Godsave, in lane 4 from Hoddesdon. Lane 5 is Jessica Patrick, 10-year-old from St Albans, and the fastest 10-year-old entrant in this event. 11-year-old Harriet Newman is in lane 6 from Potters Bar. Lane 7 is Alice Richardson, who's 10 from Harpenden. And lane 8 is Emily Baker, who's 11 from Berkhamsted. First to turn at 35.36 is Libby McGill in lane 3, but a lot of swimmers there on 36 and 37, so very much closer than the previous heat. So we're here, the battle at the front now between lanes 3 and 5. In lane 3 is Libby McGill from Hatfield, lane 5 Jessica Patrick from St Albans. These two are turning first, Libby at 1:14.67, Jessica 1:15.46. Then very close behind between lane 6 and 4, both on 1:17, which is Harriet Newman and Ellie Godsave. 1:18s behind those two. Extremely close this race in the middle. At the front now though, starting to pull away, Libby McGill from Hatfield entered at 2:43, but now responding very well, Jessica Patrick from St Albans. And Jessica is really pushing on this 6th length. We've got 2 lengths to go. These two are going to be very close. Libby's going to turn with the last 50 to go, 1:54, 1:55 for Jessica. These two just a little bit clear, 1:58. From Harriet in lane 6, 2 minutes from Ellie Godsave in 4, 2 minutes also from Alice Richardson in 7, 2:02s for lanes 8 and 2, Emily and Owen, and 2:07 for Chloe Warren, all with 50 metres to go. Great sprint at the front though, and they're locked together. Libby McGill from Hatfield in 3, Jessica Patrick from St Albans in 5, absolutely locked together. Coming into the last few strokes, Libby's just got the edge, I think, and Libby's going to get it at 2:32.42. A really excellent swim, entered at 2:43, 2:33.49 for Jessica, and well inside her entry time. Third to touch, 2:38.07 for Harriet Newman in the third. Heat 8 of the ladies 200 metres freestyle. I said the fastest entrant was in the previous heat, the 10-year-old. I was actually wrong because Gemma Hansen's in this one, and Gemma's 10 as well, so I missed that one out of my list. Heat 8, lane 1, Sophie Payne, who's 11 from Hatfield. Then the 10-year-old Gemma Hansen from Hatfield is in lane 2. Lane 3 is Courtney Burke, 12 from Cheshunt. Lane 4, Libby Trailing, who's 12 from Harpenden. Lane 5, Brianna Maisie, 12 from Tring. Then 3 11-year-olds. Lane 6, Emily Lush from Cheshunt. 7, Clem Waterhouse from Tring. Lane 8, Jessica Pencourt from Bishop Stortford. 34 at the first checkpoint for Libby Trailing from Harpenden in lane 4. The 100-metre halfway split. Our fastest entrant, Libby Trailing, turns first, 1:13.20. 114.62 behind her for Brianna Maisie, 115.21 for Emily Lush, 116.48 for Libby Courtney Burke. And now coming into the three-quarter mark to 152.8 for our leader still, Libby trailing 154.79, Brianna Maisie in 5, 155 for Emily in lane 6, 158 for Libby Courtney Burke in lane 3. Lots on 2 minutes, all the others are all pretty much within a second of each other, around 2 minutes 2:01. In the lead though, and now starting to come under some pressure alongside her from a big finishing lane 5, Brianna Maisie. Libby trailing, has led from the start. Brianna Maisie trying to go after her. Libby trailing, entered at 2:38, and she touches in 2:31.27. Brianna 2:32.39. Great last 50. Emily Lush third to turn, also good last 50 at 2:34.55 in third place. Heat number 9 of the ladies 200 meters freestyle. Heat 9, lane 1 is Holly Atkins, 12 from Cheshunt. Lane 2, Elise Cork, who's 12 from Potters Bar. Lane 3, Sarah Carroll, who's 11 from Bishop Stortford, and the only 11-year-old in this heat of 12-year-olds. Lane 4 is Megan Jarman from St Albans, 5, Frankie Hunt from Hertford, 6, Charlotte Matthews from Bishop Stortford, 7, Laura Norton from Cheshunt, and lane 8 is Amy Stoker from Berkhamsted. Just the one 11-year-old, Sarah Carroll, the youngest swimmer in this, in lane 3. First to turn at 50, lane 7, 34.85 for Laura Norton from Cheshunt. 35s and 36s, all the swimmers in a row at the moment. Very close race coming up to the halfway mark. We've got everyone from 4 to 8 within probably a second. Lane 4 first to turn, 113.57, 114.49, 114.50, 114.84 for lanes 5, 7 and 6, which is Frankie, Alara and Charlotte. But now our leader starting to pull away. Megan Jarman, 12-year-old St Albans swimmer, entered at 2:35. She's just pulled out a little bit in this third 50. I've got about a metre and a half lead, maybe 2 metres. But lanes 5 to 8 absolutely in a line. 152.49 for our leader, Megan Jarman. 155s for all of the swimmers from lanes 5 to 8. 156 for Sarah Carroll in lane 3, and 157s for Elise and Holly in lanes 1 and 2. So very, very tight race, other than the leader who's pulled away another 2 metres in that penultimate length. Megan Jarman looking for 2:35. Going to be about 5 or 6 seconds inside that. Touches in 2:29.27. Very, very close behind. Oh, and the touch goes 2:33.71 to Amy Stoker. 2:34.71 third to touch for Megan, for Frankie Hunt. Heat 10 of the ladies 200 metre freestyle. Mixture of ages in this one. We start with 3 11-year-olds in lanes 1, 2 and 3. Lane 1, Georgia Perkis from Hemel. Lane 2, Natasha Bentley from Hatfield. 3, Ella Chown from St Albans. 13-year-old Rachel Smith's in lane 4 from Hitchin. Lane 5, Jessica Turley is 12 from Stevenage. Lane 6 is Lauren Stott, who's 11 from St Albans. 2 12-year-olds in 7 and 8. In lane 7, Leanne Avery from Hemel. And lane 8 is Alicia Slater from the Flyers. Very, very close indeed. 34 flat, first to turn for Ella Chown, but 3 more on 34, lanes 2, 6 and 4, and then the rest are all on 35. Trying to push on in this second 50 though. Lane 3, Ella Chown. Coming up to the 100-metre split. A lot of swimmers right up there with her though, but Ella's going to be first to turn at 1:12.04. 1:12.77 for Rachel Smith in second to turn. 1:13.06 and 1:13.66 for Natasha Bentley and Jessica Turley. That's the leading pack. But now coming right up onto shoulder, we've now got a race on. Ella Chown in 3, Rachel Smith in 4. These two together, and now it's Rachel just ahead of Ella. 1:51.03, 1:51.24 for Ella. 1:53s for both lanes 6 and 5, Lauren Stott and Jessica Turley, and also right behind all 1:53s for Natasha and Georgia. And Georgia Perkis going really well in lane 1. But coming down into the final 25 metres, a big sprint on. And at the moment it's Hitchens, Rachel Smith in 4, but coming up very strongly also Jessica Turley in 5, Ella Chown in 3 is tying up a little bit. It's going to be very, very close. 2:30.17. Rachel Smith gets the touch. Fast finishing Jessica Turley gets the touch in second. 2:30.68. 2:30.83 for Ella Chown in third. Heat 11 of the ladies 200 metres freestyle. Heat 11, lane 1 is Amy Woodish, 13 from Watford. Lane 2 is Kate Andrew, who's 11 from Potters Bar. Lane 3, Kaylee Perry, who's 12 from Hoddesdon. Lane 4 is Libby Dunford, who's 11 from Hoddesdon. Lane 5 is Harriet Harwood-Jones, who's 13 from Berkhamsted. Lane 6, Alice Fender, 13 from Hemel Hempstead. 12-year-old Charlotte Nash is in lane 7 from Bishop Stortford, and her teammate Ellie Eastland is in lane 8, and she's 11. And it's lane 6 to turn first at 50, 34.22, 34.29, few hundreds in it between Alice Fender and Libby Dunford. Coming up to the 100-metre split, and it is very, very close actually. Lots of swimmers in it. 1:12.27 for our leader, Alice Fender. 1:12.52 for Libby Dunford right after her. And there's only about a second separating everyone else. But now Libby Dunford in lane 4 from Hoddesdon, trying to get back on terms, also going well. Still in lane 6 in the lead is Alice Fender, but Nellie Eastland in lane 8 is really long stroke, very efficient. She's got her head down. These three just a little bit clear. First to turn, 150.93 for Alice Fender. Libby Dunford, 150.98. 152.05 for Nellie Easton. 153 for Kate Andrew, and everyone else on 154. Big sprint at the front. Libby Dunford now going to the front in lane 4, putting in a very big last 50. Libby Dunford entered at 2:30.79, but now responding really well. Alice Fender in lane 6, and Alice is coming back very strongly into the last 10 metres. It's going to be on the touch, and it goes to Alice at 2:26.78. A tremendous last 20 metres there. 2:26.87 for Libby Dunford. Excellent swim, few hundreds between them. 2:30.78 for Nellie Easton. Had a good second half of her race. Heat 12 of the ladies 200 metres freestyle. Lane 1, Megan Pope, who's 12 from Cheshunt. Lane 2 is Shamina Shawali Keeling, who's 13 from Hemel Hempstead. Lane 3 is Katie Harrison, 11 from Potters Bar. She's the fastest 11-year-old entered in this event. Lane 4 is Eleanor Wood, who's 13 from St Albans. Lane 5, Lucy Brett, 13 from Hitchin. Lane 6 is Chloe Nash, who is 14 from Bishop Stortford. Lane 7, Emily Kiernan, who's 15 from Berkhamsted. And lane 8, Megan Pointer, 14 from Bishop Stortford. 33.1 for Megan Pope, first to turn. Cheshunt in lane 1. 33 for the chasing pack. She's actually a second and a half, nearly 2 seconds clear at the moment. Megan in lane 1, done a big first 50. Lanes 4 and 6 are the chasing pair at the moment. Eleanor Wood in lane 4 and Chloe Nash in lane 6. Also up there between those two, Lucy Brett from Hitchin in lane 5. But it's still going to be lane 1 who turns first at halfway, 109.7. Lead's been taken down a little bit for Megan, but 110.7 for Eleanor Wood and 111 for the chasing 2 or 3. So now starting to make a move on this third 50 in lane 4, Eleanor Wood from St Albans ended at 2:28. Megan Pope ended at 2:30 in lane 1, and she's still right up there in the lead at the moment, I think. Yeah, she's still in the lead, 148.74, going to be a great swim by her if she continues on. 149.50 for Eleanor Wood, 150s for lanes 6 and 3, Chloe and Katie. But now, good push here from lane 3, coming up very strongly too. Great finish from lanes 3 and 4, and lane 1 as well. Megan in lane 1, Katie in lane 3, Eleanor in lane 4. It's going to be extremely close. It looks like Katie's just coming to the front right at the end. And as they touch, it is Katie who touches first. 2:25.18 entered at 2:29. Second to touch, 2:26.36 for Eleanor, and 2:27.1 for Megan Pope, who led from the start, entered at 2:30. Heat number 13 of the girls 200 metres freestyle. Lane 1, Annabelle Hunt, 13 from Bishop Stortford. 2, Chloe Ogden, 12 from Bishop Stortford. 3, Jennifer Adwell. Jenny is 16 from Berkhamsted Swimming Club. Lane 4 is Katie Gormley, 16 from Potters Bar. 5, Kimia Badaran, who's 15 from Hartsmere Flyers. Lane 6, Kerry Hurd, who's 14 from Watford. Lane 7, 14 from Watford. Lane 7 is Rachel Connery, 14 from Potters Bar. Lane 8 is Grace Horn, who's 13 from St Albans. 33.28, the leader, down to 34.2. Only less than a second separating all of them at 50. Still no one making a move, coming down towards the halfway 100-metre split. At the moment, every one of these 8 swimmers is in this. Marginal who's in the lead at the moment, but at 1:10 at halfway. Chloe Ogden from Bishop Stortford, but everyone's in at 1:10, 1:11. 1:12.05 is the final swimmer to turn, but really nothing to choose between them. But now, in lane 2, in this third 50, Chloe Ogden now pushing on, entered at 2:28, and Chloe is really starting to try and break away. Trying to go after her now. In lane 5 is Kimia from Hartsmith Flyers, entered at 2:27. Chloe turns at 1:46. Kimia at 1:49, 150s behind her. Lots of swimmers on 150. Kerry Hurd, Jenny Atwell, and Katie Gormley and Rachel Connery, all right up there. In fact, all of the other swimmers are in a line now, but in the lead, pulling away, Chloe Ogden from Bishop Stortford, 12 years old, and she's not going to get caught from here. Got 10 metres to go. Fantastic sprint behind her, just fraction in the lead is Kimia. Chloe Ogden, no, 2:28 entered, goes 2:21.55. Very, very close behind, just coming in. 2:25.99 in second place, very close. Great finish by Kerry Hurd, 2:26.64 for Kimia Badaran, and 2:26.77 for Grace Horn in fourth. Heat 14 of the ladies 200 metres freestyle. So very, very close race there. Leader well away, but great race for second place. Few hundredths between them. The Heat 14, lane 1 is Nadine Smith, who's 12 from Hatfield. Lane 2, Abby Brown, who's 15 from Berkhamsted. 3, Eleanor MacDonald, who's 15 from Berkhamsted. 4, Alan Fender, who's 15 from Hemel. Then 12-year-old Grace Wiley's in lane 5 from St Albans. Lane 6, Beatrice Sparta, 14 from St Albans. Lane 7, Jess Potts, 13 from Berkhamsted, and another Berkhamsted swimmer in lane 8, Ellen Northwood, who's 13 as well. 32.15 at 50 for the leader. 2 swimmers just trying to stretch out. Eleanor MacDonald in lane 3 and Abby Brown in lane 2 going after her. These 2 are teammates. But now also just starting to come back into the mix in lane 5 is Grace Wiley from St Albans. And as they turn, it's in the lead, 1:07 at halfway for Eleanor MacDonald, 1:09.44, 1:09.9 for Abby Brown and Grace Wiley in the chasing 2. Also now picking up in lane 1, Nadine Smith from Hatfield, starting to get up there too. 50 metres to go when they come into this turn. Still in the lead, lane 3, Eleanor MacDonald led from the front, ends at 2:26. Turns at 1:45, 1:46.29 for Grace Wiley, 1:47.61 for Ellen Vender behind her, and 1:48.46 for Abby Brown behind her. Final turn for our leader in lane 3, Eleanor MacDonald. But now really starting to come through strongly. Beatrice in 6 and Grace in 5. Sorry, Grace in 5 and Ellen in 4. And it's Grace in 5 getting up there, but it's going to be Eleanor MacDonald touching first. 2:21.62, 2:22.75. Very close at the end there for Grace. And then Ellen at 2:23.39 taking third place. Heat number 15 of the girls 200 metres freestyle. Heat 15, lane 1 is Josie Bishop's-White from Bishop Stortford. Josie is 12. Phoebe Spicer is in lane 2, 14 from Hoddesdon. Lane 3, Phoebe Love, 16 from Potters Bar. 4 is Lauren Clarkson, 15 from Watford. 5, Eloise Lynan, 14 from Watford. Lane 6 is Alicia Kramer, 15 from Hartsmith Fly. 7, Amara Phillip is 15 from Hatfield. Zoe Horn is in lane 8, 14 from St Albans. Fastest entrant at 2:25.31, Lauren Clarkson from Watford in lane 4. First to turn though at 31.3 is Alicia Kramer. So now pretty close. In lane 3 we've got Phoebe Love and then Alicia Kramer in 6, Amara Phillip in 7. First to turn in lane 3 though, 107.88 for Phoebe Love, and then 108.67, 108.74 for Amara Phillip and Alicia Kramer, pretty much together. Now coming back up as well though, we've got in lane 5 Eloise Lynan and Lauren Clarkson in lane 4. Starting to make their move in this third 50. There are going to be about 5 swimmers in this as they come up to the final 50, because Zoe Horn in lane 8 is also swum a good third 50. And as they turn, really nothing between them. 4-3-5-1 in fact is the order. Lauren Clarkson, Phoebe Love, Eloise Lynan, Josie Bishop's-White, and then 8-7-6-2 behind those, Zoe Horn, Mara Phillip, Alicia Kramer and Phoebe Spicer. So we're very close as they're coming into the final turn. In the lead now, lane 4 gone to the front, Lauren Clarkson from Watford, entered 2:25, going after her. Lane 5, Eloise Lynan from Watford, and in lane 3, Phoebe Love from Potters Bar. And it's going to be close as they come in behind the leader, but it's 2:20.93. Lauren Clarkson touches first, 2:22.26. In Josie Bishop's-White coming through there, in fact, to take the second place from lane 1 outside of my view, and then 2:23.27 in third place for Phoebe Love. Heat 16 of the ladies 200 metres freestyle. Heat 16, lane 1 is Maddie Gears, who's 16 from St Albans. Lane 2, Paige Wilding, 15 from Hemel. 3, Katie Conyers, 13 from Potters Bar. One of 2 13-year-olds in this. Lane 4, Taryn Fraser, 14 from Watford. 5, Ella Bantram, who's 15 from Hertford. 6 is Tanya de Margavi, who's 16 from Harpenden. 7 is Amy Pemberton, 13 from Berkhamsted. And Kira Doyle is in lane 8 from Hemel Hempstead. She's 18. 32. For our leading pair in lanes 3 and 6 at 50. And Tanya still out there in lane 6 in the lead, but now being joined alongside her in lane 5 by Ella Bantram, who's from Hertford. So halfway, 108.06, 108.09, nothing to choose between them. Tanya in the lead, just slightly though. Now, coming down now to the 50 to go turn. locked in battle now. 3 swimmers, but just in the lead at that point. 1:45.1. It's lane 6, Tanya, 1:45.14 and 1:45.29 for Ella and Katie Conyers. These 3 all together, and going after them as well in lane 2 now, Paige Wilding and Taryn Fraser in 4. But in the lead though, 3 swimmers all together sprinting down this final lane. Taryn trying to get back up with them as well, but it looks like the battle is between lanes 3, 5 and 6. Katie in 3, Ella in 5, Tanya in 6. As they come into touch, the touch goes to 2:20.6 to Katie, 2:21.21 second touch lane 5 Ella Bantra, and 2:21.55 for Tanya. Heat 17 of the ladies 200 meters freestyle. Heat 17, lane 1 is Eleanor Lavender, who's 15 from Harpenden. Lane 2, Catriona Kedenhead, who's 15 from St Albans. Lane 3, Bailey Wilkes, 12 from Hatfield. She's the fastest 12-year-old entrant in this event, youngest in this heat. Lane 4 is Ali Sanson, 15 from Tring. Lane 5, Sarah O'Brien, 17 from Hertford. Lane 6 is Emily Lampron, 14 from Bishop's Stortford. 7 is Mia Carter, 12 from Bishop's Stortford. And lane 8, Torrey Pope, 13 from Watford. 31.49, lane 8, first to turn, Torrey Pope from Watford. Can we have the boys, please, for the 100 metres individual medley? First few heats of the boys, please, for the 100 metres IM to the marshalling area, please. So approaching the halfway point, 1:06.79 for Torrey Pope, and the outside lane 8, good split for her. 1:07.84 for Mia Carter inside her, and 1:08 and 1:09 for the whole group of them across the pool from lanes 1 through to 5. Still in the lead at the moment though, Torrey Pope in lane 8, entered at 2:23.51. Well inside that split time at the moment. And behind her, Mia Carter, who entered 2:23.36. Torrey at 1:43, but now moved into second place. 1:45 just is Bailey Wilkes. And Bailey Wilkes now trying to make her move alongside Bailey. Catriona Kedenhead from St Albans in lane 2. And these two now really sprinting in this final 50. Final turn for Torrey Pope. Bailey turns, and so does Catriona together. And these two are both sprinting. Torrey Pope still holding on to this though. Bailey Wilkes though coming through strongly. And Bailey trying to get right up on turns. Can Torrey hang on to this? Torrey Pope, 13-year-old swimmer, gets the touch. 2:19.18, excellent swim, entered 2:23. Bailey very fast last 50. 2:20.46, entered 2:22. And 2:21.18, third to touch was Catriona in lane 2. Heat 18 of the girls' 200 metres individual freestyle. So just reminding myself there, it's the men's 100 metres individual medley. We need swimmers to the marshalling area, please. Heat 18, lane 1 is Emily South, 13 from Cheshunt, 2 Jessica Scott, who's 17 from Hitchin, 3 Charlotte Watson, 13 from Berkhamsted, 4 Abigail Green, 13 from Watford, 5 is Rebecca Mackett, 17 from Watford, 6 Shannon Stott, 13 from St Albans, lane 7 Beth Fitzsimmons, who's 16 from Hertford, and lane 8 is Laura Copping, 13 from Hatfield. 31.04, Charlotte Watson, first to turn. Lanes 3 and 4 just ahead of lanes 6 and 7, but first to turn, lane 3, 105.68 for 106.12. Charlotte Watson, Abigail Green, and then Shannon Stott, third to turn. Sorry, Beth Fitzsimmons first to turn ahead of Shannon Stott, but Shannon now started to just move a little bit further ahead, but Beth's right up there as well though. So these four swimmers just a little bit clear of the others, coming up to the 50 metre to go turn. Charlotte Watson, 141.86, 142.49 for Abigail Green, 143.12 for Shannon Stott, 144.41 for Beth Fitzsimmons, 145 and 146 is behind those. Final turn for our leader in lane 3, Charlotte Watson, 13-year-old from Berkhamsted. But now coming under pressure, Shannon Stott finishing very fast in lane 6, and can Shannon get up there? Past Abigail Green, but it's going to be 3:2:16.09, lane 3, Charlotte Watson getting the touch there. Shannon Stott finishing very fast, not quite fast enough, 2:16.97 in second and 2:17.99 for Abigail Green in third. Heat 19 of ladies 200 metres freestyle. Heat 19, lane 1 is Chloe Jacobs, 14 from the Flyers. Lane 2, Becky Freestone, 15 from Hoddesdon. 3, Megan Wickham, 14 from Bishop Stortford. 4, Ashley Ransom, 18 from Hertford. 5, Megan Cook, 14 from Bishop Stortford. 6, Sam Perry, 13 from Hoddesdon. Lane 7 is Olivia Smith-Lowell, 15 from Bishop Stortford. And the other 13-year-old, Kathleen Dang from Harpenden, is in lane 8. Coming up to the halfway split, and a good second 50 means in lane 5, 105.59. Megan Cook's in the lead, 106.24 behind Edo for Kathleen, and then 107 for Becky Freestone in lane 2. But up with Becky, Chloe Jacobs now in lane 1, she's also going for it. But in the lead, we still have in lane 5, Megan Cook and Kathleen Dang in lane 8 going with her as well. Megan Cook entered at 2:19, 50 to go, and she turns at 140.85. Kathleen 142.57. 3 on 144, 4, 2 and 1 in that order, but very, very close between Ashley Ransom, Becky Freestone and Chloe Jacobs, so they're all extremely close. Leaders away though with 25 metres to go, under 2 minutes. Megan Cook, Bishop Stortford, entered at 2:19. Going to be a long, long, long way inside that. And she touches in 2:15.29. Big sprint behind. It's going to be very close, extremely close indeed. 2:19.21. Kathleen hangs on to it in lane 8, just ahead of 2:19.48 for Ashley Ransom. Heat 20 of the girls 200 metres freestyle. Lane 1, Heather Gears, 14 from St Albans. Lane 2, Sophie Burns, 14 from Watford. 3, Olivia Pawson, 14 from Chesham. Lane 4 is Lana Phillip, who's 13 from Hatfield. Lane 5, Hattie Hansen, 14 from Hatfield. Lane 6 is Juliet Murley, who's for 15 from Harpenden. Lane 7, Carly Bays, 14 from Hoddesdon. Lane 8 is Cara Fletcher, who's 15 from Bishop Stortford. (31) 17, first to turn. Juliet Murley from Harpenden in lane 6. All very close at the moment though. And it is Juliet Murley who's pulling away here in lane 6. Entered 2:16. Let's look at her splits. Very close behind though. She splits at 105.24. Second is 106.75 for Hattie Hansen. 107.19 for Anna Phillip. Now Juliet's got 50 metres to go this turn, and going after her now is Hattie Hansen inside in lane 5. Juliet turns at 140.53, Hattie at 141, and then a whole load of them all at 143s and 144s. Very, very close indeed behind those. Juliet's away at the moment. Hattie can't really get on terms. There's a whole group of them sprinting behind. Juliet now in the lead though, and now coming through quite quickly over in lane 7. Is fast finishing on the last 50 is Carly Bays. She's going to get on terms with the chasing pack. Juliet's going to touch first in 2:15.07. Excellent swim. Second to touch there, 2:17.34 for Hattie Hansen, and 2:18.15 for Olivia Pawson. Heat 21 of the girls 200 metres freestyle. Heat 21, lane 1 is Dan Carey, is 14 from Watford. 2, Amy Avery, 15 from Hemel. 3, Tegan Wollaston, 14 from Cheshunt. Lane 4 is Millie Donovan, 15 from Cheshunt. 5, Rebecca Scott, 15 from Hitchin. Lane 6, Robin Brett, 16 from Watford. Lane 7, Amber Shine, 13 from Watford. Lane 8, Yazzie Brand, 16 from Watford. (31.51) the leader. At 50 is Yazzie Brand from Watford. So coming down now towards the 100-metre split, and at the moment it's Yazzie Brand up there with Rebecca Scott. Yazzie 103.92, Rebecca Scott 104.52, 105 in third place for Tegan Wollaston, 14-year-old, 106.01 for Amber Shine. And it is still these two out in front. Yazzie, the Watford swimmer in lane 8, is still right up there, but it's now been pretty close between Yazzie and Rebecca, and those two both turn at 139. Hundreds between them, 140 for Tegan Wollaston and 141 behind those. And a big sprint now. Tegan trying to get up on terms in lane 3. But at the moment it's Yazzie Brand down in lane 8. And Rebecca in 5. Rebecca gets it, 2:13.4, just ahead. Yazzie 2:14.14 close. and Tegan Wollaston 2:14.99. Heat number 22 of the ladies 200 meter freestyle. Lane 1, Amy Young, 14-year-old from Bishopsthorpe, and lane 2, Fiona Thornton, 15 from Hatfield. Lane 3, Layla Manthorpe Rosetta-B, 13 years old from St Albans, the fastest 13-year-old entrant in this event. Lane 4, Megan Brett, 18 from Watford. Lane 5, Kate McQuaid, 15 from Hatford. 6, Georgina Lawson, 16 from St Albans. 7, Ellie Mitchell, 13 from Bishop Stortford, and the other lane 8 is Amber Hughes, 15 from Hatfield. So a couple of 13-year-olds in this heat. Ellie Mitchell in 7 and Layla in 3. 29.78. First is Ellie Mitchell to the 50 mark, one of the 13-year-olds. Coming down now to the halfway point, and it's still 13-year-old Ellie Mitchell in the lead. Turns first at 103 flat, 103.81 in second place at the moment. Kate McQuaid, 104.57 for Georgina Lawson at halfway, 104.85 for Amy Young. But she's still hanging on to this out in the lead, the 13-year-old. And with 50 to go, our leader turns at 137.32, but now 137.36. Right alongside her is Kate McQuaid, 138.71 and 139 for Layla now coming up there, and Amy Young. So the other 13-year-old Layla in lane 3 now making her move. Big last 50 for her. And coming into the last 20 meters, and Kate McQuaid hits the front, but only just ahead of Georgina Lawson. Sorry, of Ellie Mitchell rather. Ellie Mitchell right up there with Kate McQuaid, these close, and Layla coming through strongly in lane 3. And that's the finish. 2:10.92 for Kate McQuaid, 2:11.81 for Ellie Mitchell, and 2:12.14 for very fast finishing Layla Manthorpe Rosetta-B. The final heat 23 of the ladies 200 meters freestyle. Away we go, final heats 23. We need the men's, should all be, the individual medley should be at the marshalling area now. Lane 1, Ellie Fogg, 15 from Hatford. 2, Victoria Pritchard, 17 from Hatford. 3, Abby Smith, 17 from Harpenden. 4, Jess Jackson, 16 from Hatfield. 5, Pippa Shuttleworth, 16 from Hatfield. 6, Faye Nugent, 18 from Hatfield. 7, Amy Godsave, only 14 years old from Hoddesdon, the youngest entrant in this heat and the fastest 14-year-old. Lane 8 is Georgie Pryor, 15 from Hoddesdon. 28.36, going pretty quick now. Jess Jackson in the lead. No Georgie Pryor in the outside lane. Can you make sure you collect your medals, please? If you have won medals, well done. Can you make sure you collect them as soon as possible from the medal table? At halfway in the lead, 59 flat for Jess Jackson, 60.8 for lane 3, which is Abby Smith, 61.4 for Pippa Shuttleworth, 62 for Faye Nugent. 50 to go for Jess Jackson in the lead. Entered at 2:03.73 is 1:30.20. So up on that, 1:32.91 for Abby Smith, 1:34.29 for Pippa Shuttleworth, 1:34 for Faye Nugent, 1:37 for Amy Godsave, the 14-year-old. Jess Jackson into the last few meters. Record is 2:01.07, just outside it, 2:01.65, 2:06.02, second to touch. Fantastic swim for Jess Jackson. And that's second place was Abby Smith, 2:07.17 in third place for Pippa Shuttleworth. 2:12 for the 14-year-old. So that completes the ladies 200 meters freestyle. And we're moving on now to event 36, which is the men's 100 meters individual medley. This is going to be swum in 14 heats. Before we start, can I just remind people, lost property. There's lots of lost property accruing, which is on the table by the marshalling area. Can you all please make sure you go and have a look? You may not think you've lost something. Please, please go and have a look. And at the end, we'll let the parents go and have a look as well. The men's 9 to 14-year-olds 100 meters individual medley, heat 1, swimmers in lanes 1 to 7. So you have a small technical difficulty at the moment, so stand easy, boys, for the moment, please. Once again, don't forget the lost property table down by the marshalling area. .100 meters, one length of each stroke. Lane 1, James Thornley from Hartsmith Flyers. Lane 2, Charlie Taverner from Watford. 3, Taylor Coe from Chesham. 4 is George Williams from Harpenden. Lane 5 is Freddie Richards from Harpenden. 6, Sebastian John from Hatfield. Lane 7 is Edward Richardson from St Albans. All 9 years old. Finishing the fly, then they go straight over onto the back, and then the breast, and then the free. And leading the way in the early stages here, lane 4, George Williams on the backstroke, end of 1:42, fastest entrant. Also looking good on the backstroke is Hatfield's Sebastian John, and outside him is Edward Richardson, but it's pretty close. And they turn 43.84 for our leader, George Williams. 45s and 46s behind him. Second to turn was Sebastian John, and then Edward Richardson. Leader still holding on the breaststroke and pulling away just a little bit. But the good breaststroke also still coming in from lane 6 and 7. Sebastian in 6 and Edward in 7. But the leader, George Williams from Harpenden, turns at 1:15. And now right behind him, Edward Richardson in lane 7 and Sebastian John in lane 6. And now coming through strongly, George Taylor Coe in lane 3 from Cheshunt. Sprinting very fast down this last length. It's going to be close, but coming into the last 5 meters, our leader, George Williams, entered at 1:42, touches in 1:37.81, 1:39.45 for Edward Richardson, or 1:39.71 for Sebastian John. Heat 2 of the men's 100 meters individual medley. Lane 1, William Toland, who's from St Albans. Lane 2, Alexander Backhouse, who's from Hatfield. Lane 3, Marco Tontonanati from Hoddesdon. Lane 4, Josh Schwing from St Albans. Lane 5, no swimmer. Lane 6, Sam Garrett, who's from Hatfield. Lane 7, Thomas Jarman from St Albans. Lane 8, Oscar Bryce from St Albans. They're all 10 years old, apart from Lane 8. Oscar Bryce is only 9 years old. Good backstroke in the middle of the pool. Lanes 4 and 6. Josh in 4, Sam in 6. Also going well in lane 3, Marco. Josh turns first, 40.65. Sam with 41.64. Marco 42.07. 42.21 here for Oscar Bryce, the 9-year-old. And Oscar, 9-year-old, looks pretty good on breaststroke out in lane 8, but also now coming through in lane 2. Strong breaststroke from Hatfield's Alexander Backhouse. And in lane 6, Sam Garrett, but it's Alex who's going to turn first. Excellent breaststroke leg there, turns at 1:11. Right behind him, though, good breaststroke from the 9-year-old Oscar Bryce out in lane 8. Pulled him right up there. Coming under pressure in the middle, though. It's going to be very close behind the leader. Alex Backhouse is going to get the touch. 1:29.69 for Alexander Backhouse. Very, very close. 1:31.57 second for Oscar Bryce, the 9-year-old, who's done very well indeed. 1:31.75. Third to touch in lane 4 is Josh Turin. Heat number 3 of the 100 meters individual medley. Heat 3, lane 1 is Kieran Cook, who's 10 from St Albans. Lane 2 is Maxwell George, 10 from Hatfield. 9-year-old Reuben Balch is in lane 3 from Hemel. Lane 4, Luke Canning, 10 from Bowen. 5, Lewis Clark, 10 from Watford. 6, Henry Flatt, 9 from St Albans. 7, Zane Batt, who's 10 from Cheshunt. 9-year-old Maraj Singh is in lane 8 from Watford. Leading the way on the backstroke, here Henry Flatt from St Albans, 9-year-old in lane 6. And alongside him, Zane Blatt, 10 from Cheshunt, looking good, but also on the backstroke, we've got Hatfield's Maxwell George in lane 2, looking good. Who turns first? It's just Zane Blatt at 41.54, halfway. 41.81, Henry Flatt, and then 42.14 for Maxwell George. And Maxwell George looking good on the breaststroke, but now coming through strongly is Cheshunt's Zane Blatt. Looking good out in lane 7, and going with him, inside him, Henry Flatt from St Albans, a 9-year-old. And these two are going to be turning first and second. Zane turns first, Henry turns second, Alex turning third. It's going to be a good swim by Zane, 10-year-old, entered at 1:36, and he's away on the freestyle. Good battle behind him. But Zane's going to touch first at 1:29.01. Great swim. Second to touch, 1:32.86. 200ths in it. Henry Flatt just fractionally ahead of Maxwell George from Hatfield at 1:32.88. Heat 4 of the men's 100 meters individual medley. Heat 4, lane 1 is Alex Tate, who's 10 from Hertford. Lane 2, Toby Clifford, 10 from St Albans. 3, Dominic Burns, who's 10 from Stevenage. Lane 4, the only 9-year-old amongst all the 10-year-olds. 9-year-old Max Sherville from Hatfield. Lane 5 is Luke Temple from Harpenden. Lane 6, George Thorne from Tring. Lane 7, Alex Horn from St Albans. And Bradley Borland from Harpenden is in lane 8. But it's the 9-year-old Max Sherville who's right up there, a really good backstroker in lane 4, along with George Thorne in 6. It's He turns first, the 9-year-old at 39.62, George at 40.33, 41.91 for Luke Temple and 43.19 for Alex Horn. 43s and 44s for the others as well. Strong breaststroke already though from Alex Tate in lane 1 from Hertford. He looks the best on the breaststrokers, but he's trying to chase after George Thorne, who looks good too. And George is going to be turning first. George does turn first. In fact, second behind George is Luke Temple from Harpenden in lane 5, who went extremely well. These two just a little bit clear. Coming into the last few strokes, George entered at 135.32, and he touches a 125.71. Great swim. 127.97 in second place for Luke Temple, entered at 134, and very, very close on the 131s behind. The touch at 131.47 going to Alex Tate in lane 1. Heat 5 of the men's 100 metres individual medley. Lane 1, Benjamin Green, who's 10 from Watford. Lane 2 is Toby Sherville, who's the fastest 9-year-old entrant from Hatfield and the youngest in this heat. Lane 3, Lewis Armitage, Lewis 10 from Berkhamsted. Lane 4 is Dominic McCarthy from Hoddesdon, is 11. Then a row of 10-year-olds. 5 is James Rayner from Hatfield, 6 Ollie Parker from Hatfield, 7 Samuel Balchin from Potters Bar. Lane 8, Edward Jex from St Albans. On the fly on the back, it's going to be 2 Hatfield hats in the lead by the look of this. James Rayner and Ollie Parker, but pretty close behind them now is Hoddesdon's Dominic. In that order, 38.15, 39.53 and 39.65. 41.73, fourth to turn was Samuel Balchin from Potters Bar. 3 breaststrokers all in a row, but who's going to be there to turn first? Going to be close, and now going extremely well. Benjamin Green in lane 1. Another strong breaststroker, brought himself right up there, but the 3 in the middle of the pool now, sprinting home. We've got Ollie in lane 6, James in lane 5, Dominic in lane 4. These 3 are going to be the 1, 2, 3. Which order is it going to be in? It's going to be extremely close as they touch. It is James Rayner getting the touch. Entered at 127.82, goes 125.01. 125.86 for Dominic McCarthy in second. 127.06 for Ollie Parker in third. Heat 6 of the men's 100 metres individual medley. Lane 1, Nicholas Boter, 11 from Bishop Stortford. Lane 2, Yannick Wilson, 11 from Harpenden. 3, Guy Munzer, 11 from St Albans. Then the 12-year-old Nicholas Hollis in lane 4 from Hatfield. Lane 5 is Thomas Cadenhead, who's 11 from St Albans. Lane 6, Daniel English, 11 from Hitchin. 7, Benaya Matinda, who's 11 from Stevenage. And then Daniel Murtagh is the 10-year-old from Stevenage in lane 8. He's the fastest 10-year-old in this event and the youngest in this heat. Very, very even. Coming up to the halfway turn, and there are going to be 4 or 5 swimmers all turning together. And at 37.94, just in the lead is Thomas Cadenhead. Really nothing between them. So who's the strong breaststroker? And Yannick Wilson from Harpenden in lane 2 is pushing on in the breaststroke. Nicholas Boter looking good as well in lane 1, and also in lane 4, Nicholas Hollis. And Nicholas Hollis it is in the lead, coming off that out of the turn. Nicholas Hollis in lane 4, Thomas Cadenhead in lane 5, Yannick in lane 2. It's going to be extremely close coming into the last few strokes. Very fast finishing, Guy as well. All very fast, not quite fast enough though. 120.85 for Yannick Wilson gets the touch, 121 flat for Thomas Cadenhead, and 121.65 for Nicholas Hollis. Heat number 7 of the men's 100 metres individual medley. Lane 1, Deneth Karathalinkalako, who's 12 from Hertford. Lane 2, Anthony Smith, 13 from Hertford. 3, Jack Emerson, 13 from Hitchin. Lane 4, Ignatius James, 13 from Borehamwood. Lane 5, Toby Laguda, 11 from Hatfield, the fastest 11-year-old entrant in this event. Lane 6, Matthew Rajab, who's 12 from Watford. 7, Michael Sim, who's 12 from Hertford. And Daniel Charder, who's 12 from Bishop Stortford in lane 8. So Toby Laguda in lane 5. The fastest 11-year-old entrant at 1:21.95. But it could all change. First to turn, 34.42 after the backstroke. Jack Emerson from Hitchin, 35.73 from Anthony Smith, and 36 for Daniel Charder in lane 8. Good breaststroke in lane 2 from Anthony Smith. And Anthony's now taking a lead on the breaststroke. Going after him though. 3 or 4 swimmers. It's going to be close as they turn into the final length. Anthony turns, and just behind him was Ignatius James from Borehamwood. Ignatius looks pretty quick on the freestyle. Coming into the last few strokes, looks like Anthony's going to hang on to this. He entered at 1:22 and he goes 1:17.49. Ignatius at 1:14.52, 1:19.62 for Jack Emerson. Heat number 8 of the men's 100 metres individual medley. Lane 1, Nathan Stewart, 12 from Stevenage. 2, Ashley Coombs, 12 from Hamble. 3, Daniel Tarry, 13 from Hertford. 4, William Picton, 12 from Bishop Stortford. 5 is Harry Thorne, who's 13 from Tring. 6 is Thomas Toland, who's 13 from St Albans. 2 hot distance swimmers, lane 7, Matteo Tontonati in lane 7, who's 12, and 12-year-old Ralph Davis from Hoddesdon in lane 8. And Ralph Davis going well, but also very strong on the backstroke is William Picton from Bishop Stortford in the middle in lane 4. And it's William who's going to turn first at 35.5 alongside him for Harry Thorne, and then 35.63 for Ashley Coombs, 36 for Daniel Tarry. People looking across on the breaststroke, trying to see where the opposition's coming from. But it's at the moment lane 2, Ashley Coombs from Hemel Hempstead looking good. Also going well in lane 5, Harry Thorne. Harry's first to turn, Ashley second, but also now in lane 6, Thomas Toland from St Albans. And finishing fast in lane 7, Matteo. It's going to be extremely close as they come down to touch. As they touch, 1:16.94 goes to Harry Thorne, 1:17.6 in second for William Picton, and 1:17.9 for a very fast finishing on the freestyle, Matteo in lane 7. Heats number 9 of the men's 100 metres individual medley. Lane 1, James Chanel's 12 from Tring. Lane 2, Ralph Munzer, who's 13 from St Albans. Lane 3, Matthew Cook, 13 from Stevenage. 4 is George Loveman, 13 from St Albans. 5, James Blount, 13 from Potters Bar. 6, Callum Wollaston, who's 12 from Cheshunt. 3 12-year-olds in this. Lane 7 is Harvey Bannister, 13 from Bishop Stortford. Lane 8, Matthew Tester Wilson. Another one, the 12-year-olds from Harpenden. Good flying back from lane 5 in the lead. That's James Blunt from Potters Bar. He's going to turn first at 34.87, 35.44. Behind him is James Chanels in lane 1, 35.52 for George Loveman in 4, and 35.98 behind him. So moving now into the last 5 metres of the breaststroke. And the rest is on between lanes 4 and 5. George Leverman in 4, James Bart in 5. Absolutely together, coming into this final 15 metres. And a bit quicker on the freestyle. James from Potters Bar into the 1:18.85. He's going to get the touch. Going to be very close for third place though. James gets the touch. 1:13.65. George at 1:14.59. 1:16.82. Third to touch for Matthew Cook of Stevenage. Heat 10 of 14 of the men's 100 metres individual medley. Lane 1, Charlie Rayner, 12 from Hemel. Lane 2, 12-year-old Marcus Kemp from Watford. Lane 3, Hassan Zaid, who's 13 from Hemel. Lane 4, Harrison Lees, who's 13 from Watford. Lane 5 is Jeffrey Touser, who's 14 from Stevenage. Lane 6, John Talensky, who's 12 from Harpenden. 7 is Joseph Richardson, 12 from Harpenden. And St Albans, Joel Green in lane 8 is 13 years old. Leading the way at the moment, we've got lanes 1 and 5 it is. Charlie Rayner in 1, Jeffrey Tozer in 5. Charlie turns first, 32.98. Jeffrey, 33.75. 33.94. Third to turn was Hassan Zaid, and 35.2 for John Talensky. But good breaststroke as well in lane 1. Charlie Rayner's really going for it, entered at 1:18. Going after him is Hassan Zaid in lane 3. Charlie's on his last leg foul, coming down into the final 15 metres. He's got about a 5 metre lead. He's got a cracking time. Charlie Rayner entered a 1:18.53, goes 1:10.12. What an excellent swim. Close behind 1:13.7 for Hassan, and then 1:14.24 for Marcus Kemp in lane 2. Four heats to go. Can you clear the pool, please, swimmers? Can you clear the pool, please? Just the 4 heats of this left. We've got a couple of finals. Got the ladies' fly final, which will be swum at the end of this, and then we'll have the final of this event. I think this is the only final we're swimming in this this session. Heat 11 of the boys 100 metres individual medley. Lane 1 is Daniel Streeter, 14 from Stevenage. Lane 2, Matthew Honeyman, 13 from Potters Bar. 3, Callum Keane, 14 from St Albans. 4 is Ben Hunt, 14 from Hoddesdon. 5, Joseph Taylor, 13 from Bishop Stortford. Lane 6 is Tom Lyons, 14 from Berkhamsted. 7 is James Cole, 12 from Tring. And lane 8 is Ryan Brewster, 14 from Hoddesdon. Strongest backstroke coming down in lane 6. Tom Lyons from Berkhamsted entered at 1:16. He's going to turn first, but there's some good backstrokers behind him. Ben Hunt as well. Tom at 32.68, Ben at 32.84, 33.63. Third to turn there was Joseph Taylor. So coming up to the end of the breaststroke. And turning first now in lane 4 is Ben Hunt from Hoddesdon. But right there now in lane 6, Tom Lyons from Berkhamsted as well, and he's a good sprinter on the freestyle. And Tom and just ahead at the moment, I think, from Ben. It's going to be close. And the touch goes to Tom at 1:12.36, Ben 1:12.78, 1:14.38, very, very close behind. The touch just getting there to Callum Keane in lane 3. Heat 12 of the men's 100 meters individual medley. Lane 1, Max Maidat, 14 from the Flyers. Lane 2, Callum Gregg, who's there, 14 from Hertford. Lane 3 is Jack Sherwood-Cooper, 14 from Potters Bar. Then a whole row of 13-year-olds. 4 is David Shipman from Potters Bar. 5, Christian Nell from Berkhamsted. Lane 6 is Callum Davis from Bishop Stortford. 7, Adam Martin from the Flyers. And lane 8 is Daniel Lush from Cheshunt. Good lead at the moment, though, on the backstroke for Callum Davis from Bishop Stortford, entered at 1:14. Not much juice behind him though. Callum turns at 30.80, 32.65, 32.68 for the chasing 2, which is 5. Christian Nell and Jack Sherwood-Cooper. And he's hanging on to it at the moment. Callum Davis in the lead, looking good on the breaststroke. Going after him in lane 2 is Callum Gregg. Jack Sherwood-Cooper. Callum Davis in the lead though. Callum coming down into the final 10 metres. And now coming strong in lane 4. David Shipman from Potters Bar, but Callum touches a 1:08.74 to take that heat. 1:10.06 for David Shipman and 1:11.21 for Callum Gregg from Hertford in 3rd place. Heat 13 of the men's 100 metres individual medley. Lane 1, Jack Fagan, 14 from Watford. Lane 2, Mason Brand, 12 years old from Berkhamsted. Lane 3, Ollie Taverner from Watford. He's the fastest 12-year-old entered in this, just faster than Mason. Lane 4 is James Woodward, 14 from Potters Bar. Lane 5 is Tushik Kamraji, 13 from St Albans. 6 is Morgan Newman, 13 from Potters Bar. 7, Carl Holmes, 14 from Hamilton. 13-year-old Tom Weston in lane 8 from Berkhamsted. Very close at the halfway point. First to turn, 32.52 is Mason Brand, the 12-year-old. And Mason is certainly going after this in the lead here. He's good breaststroker, but coming back on him alongside him now, Ollie Taverner from Watford. And Ollie turns just ahead of Mason, and so does James Woodward as well. And these two in the lead, Mason going after him. It's going to be extremely close as they come into touch. The touch goes 1:08.91. First to touch is James Woodward, 1:09.19 for Ollie Taverner, and 1:10.27 for Mason Brown, which, if my reading is right, is a new championship record for a 12-year-old. The final heat 14 of the men's 100 metres individual medley. Final heat 14, lane 1 is Jamie Hoyes, who's 13 from Berkhamsted. 2 is Sam Gamble, 14 from Hitchin. 3, Lewis Pope, 14 from Chesham. 4, Dan Schindler, 14 from St Albans. 5 is Ben Harrison, 13 from Potters Bar. 6, James Cook, 14 from Stevenage. 7, Jordan Northwood, 14 from Berkhamsted. And Ollie Hurst, 14 from Berkhamsted. 13-year-old Ben Harrison, fastest entrant in this. Fastest 13-year-old. 30.41, first to turn in lane 2 off the backstroke. Sam Gamble, 30.50 and 30.66 for Dan Schindler and Jordan Northwood. Good powerful breaststroke in lane 2 from Sam Gamble though. Dan Schindler also looking good in lane 4. And also looking good is Ben Harrison in lane 5. Good breaststroke, Ben Harrison. Looks like Ben may be slightly in the lead, but it's going to be extremely close. Going to be on the fingertips as they touch, and it is 105.87. It goes by fingertips to Ben Harrison, 13-year-old, 106.08. Second to touch was Dan Schindler, 106.21. It was Sam Gamble. Look at that, a few hundredths of seconds. Very, very close race, the final heat of the men's 100 metres individual medley. We've got a final coming up, and which is the girls' 50 metres butterfly final. final we've got one reminder, 12:45 is the warm-up. We've only got two 12-minute warm-ups for the next session. Withdrawals must be in by 12:30 at the latest. Withdrawals by 12:30. Ladies and gentlemen, we now have our final for this session, which is the ladies' 50 metres butterfly final. Please will you give a very warm welcome as they come to the blocks, your finalists, starting in lane 8 with from Hatfield, Hattie Hansen. In lane 7 from Hatfield, Alana Phillip. In lane 6 from Harpenden, Abby Smith. In lane 5 from Hatfield, Jessica Jackson. In lane 4, fastest qualifier from Hoddesdon, Georgie Pryor. In lane 3 from Watford, Alison Binns. In lane 2, representing Bishop Stortford, Amy Young. And finally, in lane 1, representing Potters Bar, Phoebe Love. Your finalists for the ladies' 50 metres butterfly. So away we go. 13-year-old record is 29.18. No record listed for 14-year-old. And the youth and open ones are all 28.57, held by Georgie Pryor, who's in lane 4 in the lead at the moment, but under a lot of pressure from Jess Jackson. And it's Georgie Pryor and Jess Jackson. Jess Jackson in second. Georgie Pryor in the lead. Very close behind. Looking like it could be Abby Smith, but it's going to be close to touch. Goes to Georgie Pryor in 28.21, a new championship record. Second to touch, 28.50, inside the old championship record as well for Jess Pryor. Third to touch there, Abby Smith, 30.18 seconds. So very, very well done, finishing that session with a new championship record, subject to ratification by the judges. So reminder, 12:30 is absolute cut-off for any withdrawals in the next session, and we've got the two 12-minute warm-up waves starting at 12:45. Can you please make sure that we stick to the time on the warm-ups, because we only have two 12-minute slots to warm up for the 50s. Do go and make the most of the sun outside, enjoy yourself. Can you have a look at the lost property, please? The lost property is down by the marshalling area. Do please go and have a look. There's lost property down there from today and from last weekend. We'd love to get it back to the owners rather than getting lost forever. And medals. If you've won medals in this session or previous sessions, please go and collect them as soon as possible from the medal table. Warm up, 12:45.